I like to talk. What's up, Super Saiyans, and welcome back to another episode of Chatterbox. You already know what it is. I got my recliner behind me and my Spider-Man pillow. We're not chilling today, though. I repeat, we are not chilling today. Today's topic is way too crazy for any level of chill. So that being said, trigger warning. Trigger warning for this whole episode, okay? But let's get into today's quote. Today's quote is by Maya Angelou, and it is, "A wise woman wishes to be no one's enemy. A wise woman refuses to be anyone's victim." So let that sit, let that marinate, you know what I'm saying? Feel it, internalize it, do what you gotta do. But let's get into today's quote. So cue the disclaimer. If you were not aware, a couple days ago, the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. If you don't know what Roe v. Wade is, well, Roe v. Wade is a very, very famous court case that took place in like 1973, and it resulted in the Supreme Court ruling that it was a woman's constitutional right to choose whether or not to have an abortion. So, basically, a few days ago, the Supreme Court said that it's no longer a constitutional right for a woman to choose to have an abortion or not, which basically means that it's left up to the states to decide. So, that being said, there are already like at least 13 states that are already in the process of banning abortion completely. So that means if you live in, Texas or Wyoming, Idaho, Oklahoma, and a couple other states, you will no longer be allowed to have an abortion at all. No matter what the circumstance, you will not be allowed to have an abortion. Couple problems with that, okay? First of all, rape victims, trigger warning again, rape victims, women who can't afford, to give birth, or women who may die from giving birth are not allowed to have an abortion. They have to bring the fetus to full term. So y'all already know that our medical technology is advanced enough now to say if you go through with this birth, you are not going to survive it. So imagine finding that out and living in Texas. You just gotta die? Like, what? That's one of the problems. Also, I want to mention that making abortion illegal doesn't ban abortion completely. All it really does is ban safe abortions, because women who live in states that where abortion is not allowed at all, they're gonna find a way to get it done. And the methods that they use may not be the safest, but if it gets the job done, that's their main concern. If a woman takes a back alley method and, goes to some doctor who is not skilled at all in this field, there could be some complications for sure. Some definite complications. So, yeah. Also, this is a group of mainly men making decisions on body parts that they don't even have. Men do not have uteruses. So how can you pass a law that regulates mine? I don't get that. But actually, there is a theory and it's very heavily supported, a very heavily supported theory as to why this is taking place. There's a book called The Birth Dearth, and it was written by Ben Wattenberg, who was, I guess, an advisor to a couple presidents or something like that. I don't know his story in and out or anything like that, but I do know that Jane Elliott sat down for an interview in 2017, and she kind of loosely quoted the book, but she basically said that 60% of the fetuses that are aborted are white. And in order to, alleviate that number, we must ban abortion completely. So, yeah, the biggest issue that the book talks about is that white people are going extinct, and the population of white folks in America is like wavering, and that's like bad. And this book was written in like 1987. So imagine now, you know what? Now it's starting to like almost make sense. It was written so long ago. He was warning, America, oh, hey, y'all, come on now, we're losing our numbers. And now that some time has passed, it's like, okay, yeah, we've lost a lot of numbers. We gotta nip this in the bud right now. I have a feeling that was probably some kind of representation of the thought process, and it's so sad. Yeah. So basically, Ben Wattenberg talks about the fact that in order to keep white numbers going, in order to keep white folks in the population and grow the numbers, we have to stop aborting white fetuses. In these people's minds who think this way, they don't care that this decision has no bearing on, like, you know, their physical person. They just want to make sure that, we got to keep our numbers up, y'all. And that is terrifying. That is so scary. Like, to really sit down and think about that and process that, that's scary. Yeah. Also, this lady, I don't even know her name. I don't know what her position is, but she was at a rally and Trump was there too, and she slipped up. Roll the clip.
President Trump, on behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for white life in the Supreme Court yesterday.
It kind of makes you wonder why, when, white folks go and commit massacres and things of that nature, why they make it out alive. Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Anyways. Yeah, so that's that's a scary point. That's a very scary point. But also something that I really want to touch on too. This tweet. So this tweet was posted by a Texan senator, and he's saying that, now that we've overturned Roe v. Wade, we should also overturn Plessy versus Ferguson and Brown versus Board of Education. If you are not aware, both of those court cases are very famous because they deal with segregation. Brown versus the Board of Education desegregated schools, and Plessy versus Ferguson basically said that if we're going to have separate facilities, they have to be equal. So this senator, in response to a tweet by former President Barack Obama, was basically saying, okay, yeah, so let's bring segregation back in the mix. What? But I'm gonna end it right here. Let's just get into the takeaways. Today's takeaways from this episode: Roe v. Wade was overturned. Women no longer have the right to choose if you live in certain states, if you want to have an abortion or not. The reason for it is because the white population is wavering and they want to get the numbers back up. If you have any thoughts about this, comment down below. I want to get a conversation started about this. We have to talk about this. But that being said, that concludes this episode of Chatterbox. Thank you for tuning in. If you stayed to the end, comment down below Supreme Court. Just comment that down below so I know what you say to the end. Yeah, once again, that's all I have for you guys today. I'll catch you next week.